welcome to a special edition of The Negotiation, a new quick-hitting bite-sized video series where we speak to WPIC Marketing and Technologies co-founder and CEO Jacob Cooke about the latest consumer tech and business stories from China and across APAC. Jacob, good to have you. Where are you joining us from this week?
Calling in from Beijing this week.
Beijing. All right. First news item from this past week or so is the visit to China from Bernard Arnault, Chairman and CEO of LVMH. Tell us about why he was visiting, what he did while he was there, and your opinion on what the significance or impact might be.
Yeah, there's some big significance. He visited basically all of the LVMH umbrella stores in Beijing, Shanghai, Chengdu, Hong Kong. And he actually, the Beijing one's right across the street from the office. So we saw the big motorcade over there. He travels in style, that's for sure. It's actually been here a couple of times over the time that we've had this office. So it's not the first time we've seen him there. I think it just really underscores the importance of China for LVMH and the luxury sector in general. Pre-pandemic, China accounted for almost a third of global luxury spending. That slipped a lot during the pandemic, but the last 6 months, when we've been reporting on, 618 and coming out in terms of recovery, we're starting to see luxury come back. I think in their last earnings report, they said that the Chinese recovery lifted them by about 17% in Q1. And that's consistent with other luxury giants too. So, really sort of emphasizes, I think, how important the market is for them and their confidence of the market going forward. And there's been a lot of CEOs. It's not just been Arnault coming over. Musk was just here, Jamie Dimon, Tim Cook, all of in the last couple of months.
Interesting. Okay, let's turn our attention to another global consumer leader, Nike. The athletic apparel giant released its earnings report last week. What are your takeaways?
Well, they've certainly hired great data analysts at WPIC that have helped them. But yeah, they were falling behind local companies such as Anta and even Adidas had launched new campaigns and were going ahead. We worked very carefully with analyze the entire market and set strategy, especially for online e-commerce. And now they're back to being number one. They just reported for the quarter ending May 31st, and revenue was up 8% globally and 25% up year over year in China. So we're getting big numbers here from some of the big brands now. And I think all of this sort of stuff in the media about that slow recovery is really starting to throw out. Main takeaway, just a couple of them. Number one sports brand on Tmall in 618. Sales were up double digits in the last 618. And that's really tough because there's a lot of really big local brands that are really growing in this space. They're aligning themselves in China being the global leader. They've done some very cool things by bringing a lot of NBA stars to China this month. So, a lot of the stuff that they're known for, they're going back into what's working. And just in general, a lot of these global brands, China is, becoming the most important market for a lot of these global brands. And, from all the numbers that we've seen really kind of, after we came out of COVID in like March or April, China's been by far the fastest growing market for a lot of these brands.
Okay. Quick jump across the water. You were in Japan last week where you checked out the new Fender Flagship store in Tokyo. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Having the opportunity to work with them has really been very special. The Flagship store that's opened up in Tokyo was amazing. There were so many artists there. I think it actually, I'm going to say this, it's a better retail experience than even Apple has. I highly recommend going to check out that store if you're ever in Tokyo. And there's a lot of tourists, from other countries around Asia that are going to go check it out. And we hope that actually we're going to see many more of them throughout Asia and maybe some in China too. So, hats off to the whole team. I know they just worked their butts off on that store and the finished product was just incredible.
All right. Thanks very much. That's it, everybody. That's our China and APAC in under 5 minutes, as we promised. We'll get it done next time. For Jake, for myself, we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot.